Welcome to this video, where we will give our review about a short story in science fiction genre. Science fiction is one of the most favorite short story genres. One of them is Through a Window, a short science fiction story by H.G. Wells. He is an English writer now best known for his science fiction writing. Through a Window was published in 1894 in Black and White magazine. Consists of 3,084 words. Through a Window not only offers science fiction genre, but also adventure. The story started with Bailey, is a man whose legs are broken. He lives in a house with a housekeeper named Mrs. Green. Due to his recovery, Bailey must stay at home and not going anywhere. All he does is lying on the couch in his living room. However, Bailey feels thankful because there is a window in front of his couch, so he can watch the world outside his home through window. The view outside is a river, and on the river there are people working. A lot of things happen there, which becomes Bailey's only entertainment during his recovery. As he keeps observing the various things going on outside, he realized that he becomes so interested in things should not be his concern. One day, Bailey saw a Malay bargeman, who is a worker on the river, runs with a kris or an Indonesian dagger on his hairy hand. The man is pursued by 3 white men. He jumps into the water and swims across to Bailey's side of the river. Bailey doesn't understand what is happening. He then loses sight of the chase as the hunters and hunted pass out of sight, but then his housekeeper returns and says she knows what is going on outside. Suddenly, the Malay man appears on the balcony outside of Bailey's window, with the kris gripped between his teeth. He climbs inside the house and shocks everyone there. His appearance feels so scary. A moment later, the man is shot by the police through the window, makes him falls on the top of Bailey's broken legs. The man is dying, but then he tries to raise himself and moves closer to what he knows must be his last victim. Seeing that, Bailey smashes a medicine bottle over the man's head, and the man is dead. The story was set on a strained atmosphere as it talks about an adventure outside of Bailey's window. It gives the high-tension mood for the readers while following the story of the Malay bargeman that was being chased. By using the third-person perspective, this story lets the readers know the overall situation, not only from one side. Personally, we think the third-person situation makes us engaged more to the whole atmosphere. Moreover, it also makes us able to put ourselves into both situation inside and outside of Bailey's house, so we can understand what actually happens in both of it. In Through a Window, we notice that the main character, Bailey, has changed throughout the story. As he likely watches the things outside every time, he becomes a busybody or someone who always want to know whatever people doing. He even said he would do anything to see people doing things outside through his window. Slowly, he also becomes too confident, as he considers that everything outside happens to entertain him. After reading this story, we found few things that we think is interesting, and on the other hand, less enjoyable. In the part when the Malay bargeman was pursued, the mood begins to become strained, gives the high-tension feeling where the readers can imagine how it feels for being chased by 3 men. From the side of Bailey, readers can imagine how confusing it is to see a man who carries a kris being chased. Readers might think about the possible reason. This part gives the curiousness to the readers, since there is no explanation on why the man was pursued, and makes the readers interested to continue reading to know the reason. However, this case might confuse the readers, so this part also can somehow didn't feel enjoyable. It is hard to follow the story and left the readers in obfuscation if they don't know the reason of the Malay man being chased, and the ending can be weird and feels like there is a missing piece. So, we feel like this part is very crucial to the end of the story. Coming to the ending, when the Malay bargeman was shot dying and fell on Bailey's legs, that man tried to wake and seems like he wants to kill Bailey with his kris. But Bailey realized and hit the man's face with all his strength until the man died and fell upon the floor. This part is very impressive as Bailey first thinks he cannot do anything to beat that man because of his broken legs. Bailey found the strength in other part of his body and finally able to beat the man, and saving people from being the man's next victims. At the end, we can conclude that this story wants to deliver about how is life outside house from the perspective of a passive person, or a person who only watch and judge. We would recommend Through a Window for someone who is a science fiction reader, or someone who enjoys reading adventure. And overall, we can say that Through a Window is a fun short story, even though it is a little confusing to read this just in one sit. Readers need like 2 or 3 times reading to finally understand what this story wants to convey. Thank you for watching this short story review. We hope this video can help you understand the short story Through a Window and give you another perspective of the short story.